Section 7.4 Scientific Notation. Essential question, how do you write a number in scientific notation? So scientific notation is a shortened way really big or small numbers. So when a number is written in scientific notation, it looks like this. So a times 10 to the n. And then the important thing to note is that a must be between 1 and 9.9. So every number we write in scientific notation is going to be between 1 and 9.9. All right, so write the number in scientific notation. So I have 5,300. If I put the decimal in 5,300 with where it would be right now, it's at the end, after the 0. I want to move it so that my number is in between 1 and 9.9. So if I move it once,
the new teacher meeting is meeting in the media center.
If I move it once, it'd be 530. If I move it twice, it'd be 53. If I move it 3 times, then I'm at 5.3. So that was the first number that was in between 1 and 9.9. So it's 5.3 times 10, and I moved my decimal 3 spots. Your exponent should be positive if your number is considered big, which big would be 1 or larger. So 5,300 I would consider a big number. All right, 68,700,000. So my decimal goes at the end, and I'm going to keep moving it until it's between 1 and 9.9. So that would be between the 6 and the 8. So 6.87. And you'll notice I don't write all the zeros. Once you hit all the zeros, you don't have to write them anymore. So times 10, and I move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places. This number, 68,700,000, is a big number, so it has a positive exponent. 20,100, my decimal's at the end, and I've got to move it in between the 2 and the 0. So it's between 1 and 9.9. And I moved my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 places. 20,100 is a big number, so my exponent is positive. And then the number 7. 7 is already in between 1 and 9.9, so I actually have to move my decimal, not at all, so 0. And if you remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. So really this is the same thing as saying 7 times 1, which is 7. All right, so now we're going to work with small numbers. We still need them to be in between 1 and 9.9 when we write our answer. So I'm going to move this decimal in between the 3 and 4. So 3.4 times 10, I moved my decimal twice, except it's going to be a negative 2 this time because this number is smaller than 1. It's a small number, so a negative exponent. This one I'm going to move my decimal so it's after the 5. I moved my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, and it's a small number, so my exponent is negative 5. All right, this one I'm going to move it so it's in between the 1 and the 2. I moved it 3 times, and it's negative because it's a small number. And 0.7, I just have to move that one once, so it's 7. 7 times 10 to the negative first. So you'll notice how all of these starting numbers were smaller than 1, so they all have negative exponents. And then remember, all of my answers are in between 1 and 9.9. So 3.4, 5, 1.25, and 7. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite and take numbers in scientific notation and write them in standard form. So remember, standard form is just like a regular old number. So I'm going to look at my exponent, which is positive. Positive exponent means a big number, so I'm going to move my decimal to the right. That's the direction that would make a bigger number. So I'm going to move it 5 spots to the right. And then I'm going to fill in those open spots with zeros. So 3, 3, 2, 0, 1, and then I have 2 spots where I have to put zeros in. So 320,100. All right, 6.32 times 10 squared. Again, our exponent is positive, so that means a bigger number, so I'm going to move it 2 to the right, which would be 632. 4 times 10 to the third. So my decimal right now is right there. Exponent is positive, so a big number, so 3 to the right. So then it'd be 4,000. And then last, I have 9.03 times 10 to the 0. So that means I'm not moving my decimal at all, so it's 9.03. Remember, that'd be the same thing as 9.03 times 1, because 10 to the 0 power is 1. All right, now we have 4 problems with negative exponents, still putting them into standard form. So my exponent is negative 1, meaning my number is going to be small, so I'm going to move it 1 to the left. So 0.76 for the first one. 3.45 times 10 to the negative second. So my exponent's negative, smaller number, move it to the left, 2. So 0.0345. Eight times 10 to the negative seventh. I'm going to rewrite this 8 over here so I have enough room because I've got to move my decimal 7 times to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fill all that in with zeros. So you should end up with 6 zeros, so 0.0000008. And 1.52 times 10 to the negative fifth. Move it to the left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 5, 2. Summary.